staring monsters in their face. You'd be so proud. Money made, bills to be paid, like each and everybody. But baby, I'm me, and I need you. Ooh, when I get next to you, baby, ain't nobody gonna be there but me and you.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for tuning in. This is Tashira Jones, the host of True to the T. As I sit here and I thought about all the things that I could say, my nerves have been very, all over the place. But before I start off with anything, I want to thank the president of Life Enhancement Radio, Leroy Allen, and Vice President Kendall Lanise for giving me an opportunity to share my truth, to share who I am, to share things that I probably wouldn't have never wanted to share with anyone, and seeing something in me that they had no idea. I had prayed on this to be a radio host years ago. It had been one of my dreams. It's been one of the things that I've always wanted to do ever since I was a little girl. So for it to happen actually 7 years later, it's amazing. It's nothing but God. God is in control of everything that we do. And they had no idea that I had did an apprenticeship because I was trying to figure out how I could do radio without, getting a degree to do it, because I knew it just had a lot to do with just talking. So that's one thing that I know how to do real good is talk. Anyone that knows me know I can talk. I can talk so good. Sometimes I talk too much, but hey, look at where it has me now. So I want to say thank you to Life Enhancement Radio Station for giving me the opportunity to do something that is going to create just amazing things. Also, with all the ladies that had shows this week, I just want to congratulate you on your first show, because as y'all know, this is my first show too. So I'm just trying to balance myself and know which way and which direction that I'm going to go. I had to actually pray this morning and ask God for discernment, because I didn't know what I wanted to hit, what I wanted to talk about, because there are so many different topics that we can discuss. I know one of the topics that I will discuss on this show will be my transformation, my weight loss transformation. I will be truthful and be very honest about it and give people the information that was given to me in order for me to have gotten to where I've gotten. It was a number of different things that took place, but I'm not going to talk about that today. I might just leave that for next Thursday, because it is Thursday and everything is just T. So why not just leave it for Transformation Thursday of next week? But for tonight, I want everyone to get to know who I am. You have to be able to identify with the person that is speaking to you. For those that don't know me, for those that do know me, y'all know me already. So I want to address the listeners, the people that want to know, who is Tashira Jones? Where'd she come from? Where, anything about her life. So I'm going to share different things with you about my life. At one time I didn't want to, I remember at a point in my life, I never wanted to discuss certain things because I was shameful about it. But as you get older, you accept things that you just can't change. And it becomes a beautiful thing when you can just accept it. And a lot of things have happened in my life that I've had to accept, even if I didn't like it. But I'm just who I am. So first things first, I'm from Atlantic City, New Jersey. If a lot of people don't know Atlantic City, New Jersey, Atlantic City is what I call a small, big town. Anyone that's been to Atlantic City, it's the casinos, lights, camera, action. And it's also a city of hustlers. There are a lot of hustlers that came from Atlantic City. And the one thing that people that are not from Atlantic City don't know is that Atlantic City is also very small. Everyone knows everyone. You're related to them. You're just kinfolk. Just everyone knows everyone. And that's how it was growing up. You know, you knew who was over your auntie's house. You knew who was at your grandmom's house. You knew what they were doing. Atlantic City was a very close-knit community when I was growing up as a child. So I didn't have what the children have today. They have all kinds of different things going on in the community. But growing up in Atlantic City was like the best place to be. It was the best place to be. And I loved Atlantic City so much. So that's Atlantic City. So it's some things about your host that I don't think a lot of people know, but maybe they couldn't figure it out. But I have to be honest about my story, because my story is my story to share with someone else, to provide some hope, to give someone, you know, a chance to know that they're not alone and that they can identify with me. So if you read my bio on Life Enhancement Radio, you've seen that I opened up about being a teenage mother. Actually, I wasn't even a teenage mother. I was a child with a child. And you heard me correctly, a child with a child. At the very young age of 11 years old, I became pregnant. Yep, I became pregnant. So when you're from a city like Atlantic City and your family is known, my mother was Miss Atlantic City, Miss Teen, New Jersey. My father was an all-star at Holy Spirit High School. And their daughter became pregnant at 11 years old. When I became pregnant, it went through that town. They talked so much. It's a feeling that if you never been, if I couldn't even explain that feeling to you, because you haven't, it's just unexplainable. But when I became pregnant, it was crazy how it all happened. I had known that I did something. So I didn't say anything to too many people, but I have an aunt, and my aunt asked me, she said, "TT, did you do something?" And I said, "Auntie, I think I did, but I don't know." Mind you, I'm 11 years old. I shouldn't be doing anything, but at that time, that's what I was doing. And she said, "What you think you did?" I said, I talked to some boy. And she was like, "Oh, okay." Well, when I told her that, she called my mother. And when she called my mom, I came home. And I'll never forget this. It just sticks in me. It sticks in my head even to this day. How I got home and my mom said, "Tashira, come here, come in the bathroom." And I went in the bathroom. I didn't know what she wanted. And the next words that came out her mouth, she said to my stepfather, "Oh my God, she's pregnant." When she said, "Oh my God, she's pregnant," I'm looking like, what is she talking about? How could I be pregnant when I didn't do what I did, and it didn't, I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand. It wasn't like I wasn't aware of what could happen. I knew what could happen, but when you're young, you're not thinking about things like that. You know, I was young, going through different kind of turmoil. You know, my mother was doing all that she knew how to do to take care of me and my brother. And my father, he wasn't no longer in Atlantic City. He was on the West Coast. So, I fell into that part of that little girl that just loved her daddy so much. And I just became rebellious. I didn't want to listen to what really anyone had to say. I just listened to what I wanted to think and did what I wanted to do. But I was sneaky because I didn't just do it. I would be sneaky about doing things. Well, when my grandmother found out that I was pregnant, she wasn't even in Atlantic City either. She was in California. And my mother was crying. She was crying. She was crying. And I was crying because all I knew was I was in trouble. I knew I did something that I just shouldn't have done. But I still couldn't understand it. See, when you're a kid, you don't think like that. I didn't think like that. And my grandmother said to my mom, well, you have to go back to Atlantic City and figure it out. And when we got to Atlantic City, July 1987, I'll never forget it. It had to be probably one of the worst days of my life. It was, who was it? Who did it? How they did it? And I just didn't know how to think. I didn't know how to think. And it was just chaotic. It was chaotic. But the hurt that was in my mother's face is something that I will never forget. To make things a lot more difficult, my mother had just found out she was pregnant. So here you got a daughter that's 11 years old, and you just found out you're pregnant. So the emotions that my mother had, I still to this day couldn't even understand what it is that she dealt with. What it is, what my father, what he had to say, even though he wasn't here, he wasn't present. What was it that they were thinking? But when my grandmother made the decision to say, TT is going to have that baby, I looked like a baby. I had just got a doll from the store. I was, just outside playing double dutch. A baby? Who's going to have a baby? I didn't understand that whole concept. But, it happened. So when I give you my story, I give you my story from the truest part of my heart. It can't get no more truer than from the T. It just can't get no more truer than from the T. So I want to encourage people. I want to motivate people because I'm not there anymore. I give this story because there are lessons to be learned every day, all day. And I